What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Gonna talk about, you already know what's about to be about. If you've seen the thumbnail and title to this video, we are talking about the current state of the Madden franchise. And not just because Madden 21 has just recently been released over the past week, but also because if you've been watching what's going on Twitter these past few months, then the tea has certainly been hot. So what we're going to do here today is I'm going to talk about the background behind 3 of the most prevalent hashtags like surrounding Madden 21, as well as what my personal thoughts are, regarding the current state of Madden. So I mean, it's going to be a really good one. It's going to be really interesting for sure. So if you're ready for the ride, man, make sure you smash that like button. And if you happen to be new to the channel as well, you enjoy this video, I encourage you to check out the other content that I have on this YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button, if you like what you see over there as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to it, starting with these hashtags, man. So first hashtag I want to talk about, we got, just a little background on what's been going on the past few months. So when Madden 21 first released its new features that they were planning on introducing in Madden 21, of course, you got the yard, you got KTO, you got, new improvements to the MUT, and, sure, a lot of people play those games, but, looking down the franchise, there was essentially no planned improvements for franchise, at least nothing major. So rightfully so, the franchise community stood up and said enough is enough and started tweeting hashtag fix Madden franchise. And if I remember correctly, it was a top 2 trending here in the United States, and this was even, this was back in June, so this was, at least here in the US, this was in the wake of George Floyd's death. We still have the coronavirus, but COVID-19 is still a thing. So despite a pandemic and racial tension being at an all-time high, you have the fixed Madden franchise coming almost straight to the top, in terms of trending things on Twitter. And it got so bad that Madden actually did come out with a video telling that they were going to refocus into Madden, introduce some stuff, with some patches throughout the course of the next few months, as well as talking about, hey, in Madden 22 we promise that the franchise mode in Madden is going to be significantly better. And I remember when it was first coming out, Craniac Gaming, I think, said it perfectly. That fixed Madden franchise was, a first down, and then that video that came out, it wasn't necessarily a touchdown for us, but, it was the equivalent of, being able to get into the red zone against these guys, which is the first time we've had significant progress, talking to the EA community in years. So, off to a great start. Things were great, and just singing Kumbaya, right? Well, then Madden 21 actually came out, and predictably, the new features for the Madden franchise, they weren't in the game, and just wasn't a lot of improvement going on in general. So 2 new hashtags started springing up. The more prevalent of the 2, NFL drop EA, imploring the NFL as well as the NFLPA to drop the NFL license from EA Sports, because they have done the sole NFL video game, by the way, just dirty. And rightfully so. And then the second one that started to pop over the last couple of days, as of the recording of this video, the Madden monopoly, since of course Madden is one of the few, actually the only like video game company that can make like a simulated Madden video game. None of these other companies can do that. So now that's all laid out, now that all the background is going on, let me go into what my personal thoughts are, what I feel about Madden 21, as well as, just the current state of Madden in general. So And just a quick disclaimer, I am a person that is on the fixed Madden train. I'm like what many of you guys watching this video want. I want a significantly better Madden video game, for all of us to enjoy, because I remember back in Madden 07 playing that a lot when I was just a kid, and I just want to see a return to that. But let's go into my current thoughts on Madden as well as the state of Madden as well. So, saw the ratings on IGN as well as like the user Merit score, and I'm not going to put it on here because I know, it's been posted on a bunch of other videos. IGN has it as a 6 out of 10 right now, and I think the user Meta score is like a 0.3. Not sure if that's out of 10 or if it's out of 100, but either way, it's really bad, and they're dubbing this, the worst Madden of all time, right? And I understand why people are certainly frustrated because, we had a company, back in, the 2000s that, was considered one of the most innovative companies on the planet in terms of sports video games. Like in Madden 07, we had, basically the Madden version of My Career before 2K even had a My Career story. And it was actually pretty submersive. It was really cool for, what the PS2 had to offer. And then, going up to, the PS3, Xbox 360, went backwards, Xbox One, PS4, still maybe not going backwards, but also not necessarily going forward, even though it's 2020 now. So I understand why people are frustrated, right, about, why about Madden in general, and of course towards EA Sports. But that being said, I did end up getting Madden 21 as well recently because some people on Twitter did call this the worst Madden, and before I gave you guys my opinion about the video game, I wanted to play it myself because the last thing that I wanted to do was give my opinion on the video game and not even sit down and actually play it. So here's what I think. I played around with it over the weekend, spent a quite good bit amount of time with it, and when I came to the conclusion is that it certainly has its flaws. Like it is, I understand why people are upset, but I don't think I would go ahead and say that this is the worst Madden that has ever been produced. You know what I'm saying? Just talking to a lot of the content creators that I talk to on a day-to-day basis, I remember back in Madden 19, they that was, for them, many of them, they considered it to be unplayable. Game was released in early September per usual, and by the end of the month they just couldn't play it anymore. It was just that bad. So I'm not prepared to say that it's worse than Madden 19. That's just what my current thoughts are. There's still a long game process. Let's see how the rest of the gaming cycle goes. Hopefully they make more improvements to Madden 21, because I'll always am open to updating my opinion, as things change. But it's because like the bad ratings that it's getting, I think that's more intuitive of the lack of change that Madden has done over the years versus, oh, it's actually a really bad video game, which it has its flaws, but I mean every video game has its flaws as well. Now the thing about the exclusive license from like that EA Sports has for the NFL is that the NFL actually pursued it with EA Sports. So from a business perspective, I can't necessarily blame EA Sports, for accepting that offer. If I was in that position, I would probably do that too, because that is a lucrative deal to have. And it's just one of those things, unfortunately, that like both companies, if one of them tries to opt out, the other is going to try to sue the other, and it's just one of these things of like mutually assured destruction, if one trying to back out of the other, with lawsuits and whatnot. And there's other YouTubers that cover it way better than I can ever do. I think Eric Mayweather, actually came out with a video talking about the EA Sports license. So I mean, I understand that people want the NFL to drop EA, but I don't see that as a realistic possibility. But with that being said, I'm more open to the third hashtag that I had on my thumbnail, what was it, is the basically opening the license, ending the Madden monopoly. I am more open to that. There just needs to be more companies that are going to have to be able to step up to the table and try to give us a good NFL video game. Because as of right now, the NFL license is so expensive. I think 2K might be the only other company that might be able to afford even sharing the license. And NBA 2K, it has its own problems as well, in terms of maybe a lack of innovation, but that's a can of worms I can always open up in another video. This is not about 2K. This is of course about Madden. So I mean, if we really want to see an opportunity for the license to be opened up, this is an opportunity for you guys, not only, continue to talk to EA Sports, convince them, fairly criticize in a nicer way, I suppose. Don't threaten or send insults at the EA devs, but tell them, keep holding them accountable to fix their franchise mode, because we all want a better franchise mode at the end of the day. And then also, if you don't like Madden and you don't want to get Madden, there's always a chance, there's smaller companies out there that make football video games. Maximum Football is something that I talk about quite a bit on this channel, and I have done a series on Maximum Football in the past, matter of fact. But also Access Football, they make football video games as well. It's not as expensive as Madden. Maybe give them a try, even if it's not as good as Madden, which I'm not saying that either Maximum Football or Access Football is going to be better than Madden, because it's got its own flaws. But they're smaller companies, and if you want them to grow and eventually have a share of the NFL license, they need our support. So that's really all I have about it. What are your thoughts on the current state of Madden? Are you enjoying Madden 21 if you haven't? And if you're not buying Madden 21, what's your reasoning why? And if not, are you willing to give Maximum Football or an Access Football an opportunity? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm always open for an open dialogue, because at the end of the day, I'm like many of you in this community. I do want Madden to be not only a better franchise mode, but I want Madden to be a better video game as a whole, because we all deserve better than what we received over years. But hey, that's all I have to say on the matter. I hope you all are having a good day, and I'll see you guys for my next video. Take care, everybody.